to Finding Calm in the Chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Finding Calm in the Chaos. I'm Denise. Thank you for tuning in today and listening. It is episode number 195. It's crazy. 195. I have 5 episodes to 200 episodes. Whoop, woo. Like crazy. Crazy. That's right. If you cannot, I've learned that I need to start celebrating myself. Because, seriously, if y'all listened on Saturday, you would know that I need all of the cheering for myself that I can. Because if not, I feel like I'm losing my mind. But I will tell you, I got a little, replenished because I went to a mom's paint night at our co-op, our homeschool co-op. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And what I have found, though, is that, another mom and I that like each other, we were like, yeah, we're totally going to go to this. Peter likes her kid. And we're like, this is awesome. But I feel that it's really hard to make plans with this person. Do you have that person that you like? You know, they like you get along, I like her family. I'm assuming she likes ours, but it's super hard to make plans with this person. Very hard. And I feel like from the outside, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I hope everything's okay and thumbs up, and because I love them to death. But from the outside, I always think, what do people think of me? Because here's me wow. But from the outside, I feel like a lot of moms spend a lot of time stopping. And when I say a lot of moms, I mean me too. We will push our stuff to the side for our kids. And then I thought, but at one point, when your kid gets to a certain age, when do you have to be listen, I had plans and I understand this needs to be done. I could do some of it because now I'm going to be running late, but I think you're just going to need to plan accordingly. I'm all about putting kids first when it comes to my life's my kids, but is it really? Because we're raising our kid. And I thought about this, right? Because it really made me think, because I now honesty, I was really upset, not mad upset, but sad upset, because I look so forward to going out with me time that when stuff like this happens, I'm crushed. So just so you know, if you made plans with me and then you cancel out at the last minute, yeah, I'm pretty much crushed. And so it's really hard. And then I go into the whole, I never make plans. Blah, blah, blah. But I'm glad I went, because there were some other gals there that were fantabulous. And it turns out I have way so much in common with a lot more moms there than I actually initially knew. Because as much as people think just the opposite, I am no longer a huge joiner talker in life. Yeah, I talk on a podcast and I never shut up and I go on total tangents and blah, 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 blah. But when it comes to the public now, I feel like at my age, I don't need to really go out of my way to do anything. But at the same time, it's just exhausting keeping up with what's your favorite coffee? What's your what do you do? What are your intro? I just can't anymore. I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Am I the only person? Am I totally lame? I think I'm totally a stuck-up lame person. But I just can't anymore. So, yeah, but we had a great time. I found out I had tons in common with a bunch of people. Even our teacher itself was we have a lot in common. So I'm going to have to reach out to her, because I would totally do lunch or dinner with her, because that's going to be some good stories. You could tell already. It's fabulous. So I'm glad I went, because I made those connections. But at the same time, I totally really missed my time with the mom that canceled, because I love her to death. So there's that. And this has happened with many moms. Either they move away. I had a mom I loved when Peter was a kid here, local in the neighborhood. We did everything we possibly could together. Oh my God, she was awesome. And her husband is corporate and she moved. So then we went and visited her in Jersey where they moved. And then they moved again. And I could just never get out to Vegas. I just could never get out there for Peter to visit there. Now they're in Minnesota. So we're hoping maybe we could possibly make a trip. But at this point, it's like, oh, like it's pretty much for me at this point. Like, because like how much are her kids like going to be into Pete still, or is Pete going to be into their kids? So you never know, right? Because a lot has changed since preschool. You know what I'm saying? What else is going on? I don't know. I'll have on, it's not this Saturday, right? What's going on? February 19th, I will have the update. A lot of people have reached out, wanted to know like what Pete's doing with his, Pinewood Derby. So they're doing that, and I'll have all the results and stuff when, on the 19th. It's just the easiest recording episodes that I can have. That's the date I can have all the information. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Today, what are we going to talk about? So I got a ton of, I don't even know, messages, a ton of DMs about the Saturday episode called Let Them. And it was a lot of people being like, you're not alone. I'm also crazy. I'm like, wow. Like, I'm really sorry that your house is like that too. Bonding again on a level that women really shouldn't have to bond. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you did not listen to Saturday's Let Them, Let Them episode, I'm trying to look at my list at the same time I talk, and apparently that I cannot read and talk at the same time. Imagine that. Like, what the heck? The one that posted on February 8th, the Let Them episode, that goes through a lot of stuff. I'm always really transparent and honest about my feelings and stuff. A lot of people are just like, I got a divorce because, my hot and I'm living. Okay. So I'm going to put this out there right now. I'm not getting a divorce. I don't want a divorce. My husband is with me for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health until we die or we kill each other. It's one of the two. Okay. That's how it's going to be. So no, I'm not, I'm really sorry. And I feel that like, if that is an option for you, it's not an option for us. These are all things we need to work on. It's all communication. If you do not have open communication in your marriage, it is just a doom. It's a doom. But the thing is that as long as you're working on methods of communication, and here's my thing. If Mr. Sith doesn't want to work on methods of communication, I am no longer, right? Because this year I'm doing things that are healthy, and it is not healthy for me, my anxiety, my agitation level, or my time. Okay. My time in general. It is not healthy for me to constantly I'm not his secretary. I'm his wife. I'm not his mother. I'm his wife. I'm not his sister. I'm his wife. And so he's going to have to find time for that. And so what I've realized that instead of incessantly nagging him about it and complaining that it's not getting done, I am just going to do my portion of it. I'm going to study. Like I got us a series called, I call them the how-tos. It's by the Fredericks. My book is by Selena Frederick. And then there's her husband writes the male book, right? So it's a husband and a wife book, right? So it's how a wife speaks, loving your husband well through godly communication. Okay. I'm reading this book. I'm doing the work. I'm doing all the things. Is he reading his book? I don't know. It is not my place to even check up on him at this point because I have to lead by example. This is such a revelation to me. You guys, it's like, oh, because I am stubborn like the rest, like the best of them. Okay. And I will dig my feet in and I'm just not going anywhere. But you know what I got to do? That's not healthy. That's not healthy. And I have committed to all things healthy. Therefore, I had to then commit to, I am going forward and I am going to do this for me. I'm going to read this to educate myself. I am going to see if I could exercise these things in any part of my life. And what's great about this book is at one point they'll describe like how you should communicate and how you do this and that this is like things that we can do. And that no matter what, if you can just put God's word first, then you're doing all the right things and you're already succeeding. And here's me. Oh my God, I'm succeeding. I'm succeeding because I'm doing that. I'm sticking with my God stuff. And it really it lit a little spark under me that I was doing the right thing, because it was getting kind of low there for a while, my friends. And I was like, wow. And it's funny because she goes through saying, listen, is this how my husband and I in our marriage, is this how we are? Yeah, us sometimes. And sometimes not so much. Sometimes we all slip. Sometimes we slip a little. Sometimes we slip a lot. The greatest thing is if we're putting God first, it doesn't matter how many times we slip, because we're okay. He picks us back up. We start all over again. Try, right? Try again. And so I was like, yeah, that's what I needed to hear. That's what I needed to hear, because like literally just being in a room, talking to yourself, literally I'm doing that right now. But in general, when you are having a conversation with your husband or your spouse, whoever that may be, whomever, your kids, your family, all of that stuff. Okay. When you're having a conversation with someone and it is falling on deaf ears, it is literally mind-numbingly just explosion insanity, because you become so incredibly frustrated. But at the same time, you're like, well, nope, frustration. This is why you're talking to them. So for me, I feel like I'm in a vicious circle, because you're supposed to talk it out, because yelling doesn't get anything done. Okay, if anything you get from this podcast, let me just explain something to you, okay? That I know heads on. No, this is me, okay? Do not feel that you need to yell. Because here's the thing. I was like, that's the only time they hear me. And I'm not even joking. It is the only time my family hears me. And I'm not alone at all. I'd be like, hey, can you like pick that up and do that for me? Sure. Like, they'll just look at me. They don't say sure. If they said sure, I know they were listening to me. Silly me. And then, I'll be like, hey, can you pick that up? So then I stew for the next 10 minutes watching the thing sit in the corner that I asked them to pick up and like pull away. And then I'm like, can you guys like put that away? Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, but when? When are you going to do that? So then I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's me. Maybe I communicated that wrong. I want to do the floor. So can you remove these objects now so that I may do the floor? Okay, thank you, drive through. And then I still wouldn't get heard. And at that time, I'm just like, can somebody take this fucking box off the floor? I need the fucking mop. Who's mopping? I'm mopping. I mean, that's where it gets to. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. But that is like the life of a lot of moms right now. And it shouldn't have to be. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'd like to interject that at this time, when you are doing the complete freak out, that's when everybody in the house has your undivided attention, or you now have their undivided attention. Yes, reverse that, right? And but they're looking at you like you're like insane, and you're like, who's insane? I used to think like, you guys all think I'm crazy. You guys all think I'm this. You think I'm this. You think I'm that. Okay, but here's the thing: who's really crazy when you break it down? Yeah, I'm not crazy. I just told you to pick this up 5 different ways, and it still didn't get done until I screamed at you all. And then you all got up like monkeys and looked at me like I did something wrong. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. And neither did you, my friend. When you get to that, when you tell your kid the same thing like 5 times and they're like, just like, what? Do you ever wonder what's going on in a kid's mind? Like, I don't remember like when I did that stuff when I was a kid. I'm sure I did, right? It's kid stuff. But did you ever wonder like what's going on in your kid's mind when you're talking to them and they're just like spaced out and you're like, I wish I could be spaced out like that, where I don't even hear somebody talking to me 3 feet in front of me. Now I'm going to switch this around a little bit. Did you ever talk to your husband and he's completely spaced out or doing something and you're literally standing within a foot of him? How do I get that? Sign me up for that. I want to sit in my chair and crochet and totally be oblivious that there are any living beings in my house that exist. How do I get on that list? Doesn't that sound glorious? Anyway, so I did get tons of messages about everybody getting divorced, and I'm really sorry about that. And I'm glad that you are in a better place and you're happier and all of those things. That is awesome. Not an option for me because it's just communication, and we're going to work on that. Also, second round of texting and direct messages was all about, what are you talking about? Like, let them. And at the end, that really caught wind there. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that after we come back from the break.
Hello, I'm Peter Sith, and I'm here to tell you about something you have to have for your kids. My new book, Popcorn World. Peek inside my creative brain and meet Dylan, an ordinary kid who accidentally finds a portal to his new world in his basement while looking for his lost soccer ball. Your kids will totally be able to relate to Dylan and all his emotions, trials, and big act of kindness in my story. I worked on creating this book over the summer with my awesome tutor, Dr. Peterson. She helped me guide me through the parts of my book, and boom, Popcorn World was created. Another cool fact, my mom does all the drawings. Trust me, these pictures and the story are super cool, but you can find out yourself by picking up a copy on Amazon, and it's available worldwide. So even if my family and friends in Slovakia, Canada, Scotland, and Italy can get a copy of Popcorn World. Don't forget the name, Popcorn World. Available on Amazon now. Let's make reading cool.
Hello. We're back. Okay, post break. So what we're going to talk about is, a lot of people had asked me about the book that I'm reading called The Let Them Theory, and it was popularized. The theory already existed. So I'm going to put that really out there. Mel Robbins did not originate this theory, but she was intrigued by it and did what Mel Robbins does. She dug down, talked to people, did all of her things, and wrote a book about it. So that it was all condensed with the science and the, mental health aspect of it and all of those, and then puts her little Mel Robbins twist on it, which is why I love her. And there's that. Okay. So if you don't know who Mel Robbins is, I don't get anything from her. She don't know who I am, but you know what you need to do? You need to follow her on Instagram, and you need to read this book. It's called The Let Them Theory. So we're going to do like a little book report, right? I'm going to kind of put this into a summary for you guys on why you need to read this. And I think that more people need to apply this to their lives, because I'm not through the book. I'm in the second half of the book now, but I had to go back and listen. I'm not reading the book. I'm listening to the book. There is a difference to me. I feel like I get more out of a book when I physically read it, but I'm already reading 2 other books for other things. So I can't read this one too. I don't have that time. So I've been listening to it. And then I also will re-listen to make sure I know what is being said and apply the proper techniques, if that makes sense. So the Let Them Theory, totally popularized by Mel Robbins. Okay. It is a mindset tool that encourages people to stop trying to control other people's actions and choices, right? Instead of just accepting that they will behave as they will. You can't change somebody else. They're going to be who they're going to be. They're going to say what they're going to say. And it really is none of your business to even think you could change another person. If you don't know that, but here's my thing. Like, I'm going to be 56 this year. I pretty much know that I'm not changing anyone. And here's the best part is reading this book, listening to the Let Them theory. When I say reading, just know I'm listening. Okay. Cause I'm going to say that like through this whole damn part. The Let Them theory is actually helping me apply the techniques that I'm reading about to do in the How a Wife Speaks by Selena Federick. Does that make sense? So it is actually helping me apply the techniques in one book because I'm letting go using Mel Robbins' book. Does that make sense? Okay. So, it's a mindset tool. Kind of get people just stop trying to control, because we do. You say you don't, but you do. Because if you think anybody ever said anything about you and you like thought about it, like, did they say anything? Yeah, they said something. Most likely they said something. Don't even think twice about it, because you can't change what they think about you. So just let them. Get it? Let them. All right. And so just accept that people that you know, your friends, your family, all of that, coworkers, they're gonna behave like they're gonna behave, and you just need to accept that, right? And by doing that, it frees yourself from this unnecessary stress and allows you to focus on your own life and decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, helping me be healthy. Because it's not healthy to be like having all this stress about wondering if like your friend, you know, so-and-so said this about you and you don't know. And I hate the women need to stop being like, this person said this person. Don't tell me that. I just need to know, like, I'm sorry, who did what? And then I don't even want to know anymore. I'll go right up to that person. And if I like them, if I don't like them, then let them. Who cares? My thing is I don't have acquaintances. I have friends or people I want, like online. People are like, how can you have friends or online? If you don't know them, Denise, they're acquaintances. They are not, because I know things about the people that I'm friends with online. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. I don't like to be acquaintances with anyone. I don't have that kind of time. Like, it's just, I can't, right? So essentially, you're going to let them do what they're going to do, and don't waste energy trying to change them. It's just not worth it. I have spent countless hours of wasted time trying to think that I can get through to people and change about how they feel about me, which is interesting because I've been through so much stuff in the past, and I've had people say some really, I mean, I've done like, we've talked about it in the podcast at the very beginning, my problem with alcoholism, my problem that put me into a situation legally that had me in a county jail for 90 days. That had me, and you know what I mean? If you don't learn from these things, but I had so many people judge me during that time instead of being like, wow, I didn't see that at all coming from her. I hope she's okay. Like, oh my God, she has a substance abuse problem. Like, she drinks too much. Oh my gosh, I did not know. She hid that well. I didn't actually. But you know what I'm saying? Instead, it was just like, oh my God, like, can you believe she got locked up? She's like in jail. And it's like, and then they talked and talked and talked and talked. And let me tell you, one of these things was my Mr. Sith's sister. She talked a big shit. And not once did anybody, because you want to have this, you get so caught up in spreading lies that it's like, and here's me like, oh my God, what is this person? What if she's reaching out and doing this? And that, oh my God, they're on my Facebook page. Why are they doing? I was so embarrassed, so ashamed. And then I thought, wait a minute, I did time. I stopped drinking. I've always been working on myself. I'm always in therapy. I always try to be a better person. And I lean on God and asked him for forgiveness. And I know he forgave me. That is a given. Why do I care what these people think? Who cares? Who are people to judge you? Let them. Who cares? Who cares? Okay. Well, here are some key points that I have found. So when you go through the first half of the book, they give you some key points, and now I'm learning how to apply them. Okay. But one of the key points was release control. Okay. And this is like super important because the core idea is to relinquish, right? To let go this need and this desire to manage and dictate how others behave. You feel me? Right? Oh yeah, that's totally me. Because you have to recognize that you can only control your own actions. So this release control is super important. And with OCD and this constant need to control, we all have a need to control. We're humans, okay? But when you start suffering from like OCD, you have childhood traumas factoring in, it gets worse, okay? So this was a big one for me. Just being able to know that you don't have to waste any time managing or dictating how others behave. Just let it go. Let them. It doesn't matter. Free will, free thought. Okay? Let them. It doesn't matter. The second one was focusing on your own peace. And this is what I never did. When you let go of this need or desire to change other people, you can protect your own emotional well-being, right? So you got to let go of this constant need to change others. And for me, it was truly a desire, in all honesty, especially between Mr. Sith and I, okay? You can protect your own emotional well-being and reduce stress caused by trying to constantly influence these situations outside your control. I cannot control another human being, nor is it my business to do so. So by really focusing on your own peace, knowing that this stress and this anxiety and this constant being on and emotional, just sucking the fun and the health out of you and the happiness, because I just need to know that if I just change this person, if I just ask them or try to prove that I'm don't let them. Let them. It all makes sense when you break it down. So I highly encourage you guys to check out this book. Third focus, observe and choose. And so this is something that is, this is kind of like wraps it all up, right? This is like the big one. Okay. By letting them be themselves, right? These people or that you're trying to change, you gain a clearer understanding of their true nature, of who they are. And then you can make an informed decision about how you want to interact with them. Do you even want to be friends with them? Do you want to be closer friends with them? Because now you're seeing this authentic person instead of who you want them to be or of what they've said. Because I can tell you, a lot of times I thought I was so hurt about, and I would never admit that to anyone, let alone my sister-in-law, that we do not have a relationship with. She has never even met my son. However, the fact that I was so incredibly emotionally hurt by her, and she has said more things than that, I wonder like what I wanted. But now that I look back and I'm older and I do this, did I need to try to explain myself to her? I don't know. I didn't have to try to explain myself and my past and my addiction. And then I think, how would I have responded the situation's been reversed? And when I did that, I saw how incredibly different it was when I observed it from a role switch, right? So I role played this. And I thought to myself, I would not have reacted in the way she did. Number one, she was never I'm just using her as an example, okay? I don't have any ill feelings towards her. We'll talk about that in a bit. But just the progression of how things have gone in the 14 years that Mr. Sith and I have been together. And so first I was judged because I was older than him. And I think to myself, I don't really judge people based, unless it's like a weird thing. Like if you're 16 and you're dating a 25-year-old, that's not okay. But I feel like once you're in an adulthood, meaning like you're over 30, I think you can date whoever you want. If this is what makes you happy and you guys know, right? Then I was judged by the fact I was literally told, well, you've had cancer, so you probably can't give my brother any kids. Well, first off, only God can decide that. And he did. And, he delivered in my favor. But just saying, I would never tell another woman that that is an iffy subject. And so there's that, right? It's like, why would you tell a woman who's just been through cancer, a terminal cancer, and lived? Why would you bring that up? It's just so cruel. So I would never have said that. So it would be a moot point. But then there was just constant, do this, do that. She's very bossy. She's very demanding. And you know what? That's just her personality. Would I be friends with her? Probably not in a real life situation. But if you fast forward all the way to today, let me give you one more example. So when we had Peter, we reached out and many people in my family reached out to her about, hey, you know what? We could bygones be bygones. This is your nephew. It's your only nephew. Because, that's her only brother is my husband. And that, sometimes you just need to put things apart for family, because they were really big on family. But it's only the three of them. They don't really have family here. So, my family's insane. But in the long run, if you really needed somebody and you called them, they'd show up. I know they would. Do I want to do that craziness anymore? Absolutely not. But you know what I'm saying? It's the principle. So then I thought to myself, what about now? I'm a different person. My son's going to be 10 this year. I'm in a different place in my life. Could I have a relationship with my sister-in-law today? I could probably have what I call a working relationship with her, meaning that I would deal with holidays. I would let her be her and just understand that there were boundaries in my house so that she can have a relationship with her brother and her nephew. She has been given that opportunity most recently, and she still is not asked to see my son, but Mr. Sith and his mother, right, my mother-in-law, they all are doing stuff together for the benefit of my mother-in-law. So she's needed some help around the house and stuff. So she will on occasion call Mr. Sith now just to get information and share information about their mom. But she does not initiate any further contact. So let them. That's what you got to do. Like, no harm, no foul. It is what it is, right? So where I was going with this is that I would not have literally judged myself like that. I feel at this point, I've always been, as much as people will say things, I've always been an accepting person. I don't like when people cross boundaries. And I think a lot of my anger and my frustration and my rage stemmed from not enforcing the boundaries that I had set for myself. And then I'd flip out on people. And so in all honesty, when I look at healthy, right, I want things to be healthy in all aspects of my life, that when I think about it now, the rage and the anger stems from internally. It's an internal anger and rage against myself for repeatedly allowing people to cross my boundaries. So just please don't know that the let them theory doesn't allow people to step all over you, but clarifies like this: observe and choose, because by letting them be themselves, you gain a clearer understanding of their true nature. And then as a result of that, you could make an informed decision about how you want to interact with them in the future, if at all. know what I'm saying? So how do you apply the let them theory? Because those are like the three main components of them and what you get from doing it. The first thing is you need to recognize situations where you or I might be trying to control other people. And that includes attempting like to force somebody to change their opinion. Oh my gosh, could you imagine that in today's world? Good God. Constantly trying to fix problems for others because you're just such a good person, I could fix them. Or feeling overly responsible for how people react. And that is what I just talked about that I had really bad. Feeling really overly responsible for how people reacted. And that is because it's internal. I didn't let people be who they were. I tried to change them. I didn't enforce my boundaries when I didn't like what they were saying. And as a result of that, I got hurt even more. So I just got angry and raged. It was all me. It's all me. Is it always all me? No. But as an adult, you can make informed decisions about whom you're going to spend time with. So if you don't like any of your friends or you're constantly being a doormat, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's kind of on you. You need to enforce your boundaries and you need to let them be themselves. You're not going to change them. Like my dad could have been a jerk off pretty much all his life. Now he can't remember half of it. He can barely stand up straight at times. Let them. Just think of how he grew up. I look back now and think, wow, how did he grow up that he became the person he was? That's insane. The other one is say let them to yourself. Okay? When you are put in these situations where you feel like the desire, the urge, okay, that itch to intervene, manipulate, whatever, right? You got to be like in the kitchen. Mentally say, let them, as a reminder to step back and not take on unnecessary burdens. Now, I have really, really been using this, and I'm telling you, it freaking works. It works. It's insane. It's like changed my life. Well, pretty much every book that Mel Robbins has ever wrote has changed my life. You just have to keep applying it. But this one is like, I feel like this one came at the perfect time. Well, a lot of people like might say perfect time, 56. Hey, but 56, but better later than never. Better later than never. And I feel that at this age, this mature age, that I can really take these things to heart now. I understand them. I can look at the faults in myself and be like, yeah, that's me. Whereas I think when you're like 40, 30, let's say like 30s, right? 20s, you're not going to see any of this unless you're really insightful in yourself. 30s, I would have been like, get this book out of here. Dumbass. Like, no, let them. Oh, hell no, I'll slap a bitch. That's how I would have been in my 30s. Like that would have never, it wouldn't have hit home in a different way because it was a different maturity, a different mindset. Whereas like now I feel like for me, this is the perfect age because I'm looking for it. I want it. I am seeking ways to live a healthier life in all aspects of it. So it hit perfect. And then the last one is focus on your own actions. Okay. Instead of trying to change someone else, consider what you can do to manage your own response and behavior to the situation or in a situation. Right? I mean, that's much easier than trying to like control everything about it. You can't control other people, but you can control you. Focus on your own stuff. How would I react to this? Well, normally I would react in rage and come out after I told you 9 times. But now what would happen would be is, hey, I'm going to do the floor, guys. First off, I wouldn't even talk to them because if the TV's on or they have their phones out, I would walk in and now I would say, let's like just cut to the chase, right? I mean, it seems kind of drastic, but these are the things that we don't think to do, or at least I didn't. So now I walk in and I'll be like, listen, I want to talk to you guys about something. Can you like put your phone down, pause the TV, turn off the tablet, whatever it may be. I need to say something because I'm working on something and I need your help. Wait for a response. Cool. Now you got one. Now I have their undivided attention. Imagine that. And I'm thinking, why am I setting myself up for failure? Because it's habitual. It's habitual. For me, and I'm sure like many people, it almost becomes a response, like an auto response. You're on autoplay. I'm going to go in there. I got to do the floor. They're playing games. He's on his phone again. Wish I had time to be on my phone. This is what I think about constantly. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell them, and I'm going to tell them twice. And then I'm going to get the bucket out. Then they're not going to move it. And then I'm going to flip out. And that's what happens every single time. And it's like, why? You knew they weren't going to listen to you when you went in there. I'm like, I'm mopping the floor. Can you move your shit? No, they don't even care. Okay. So just get up and get their undivided attention. That literally took out like 8 steps of anxiety and rage and went quick to the point. And then they're like, oh, okay. Then they could get up and move their stuff. Now I'm going to be super honest with you. Have I tried this yet? No, but I just read it. Just read it. So I will be applying these things now going forward. And then if they're still not moving stuff, okay, then you need to like be a little firm. Hey, I got your attention. I'm doing something right now. I needed your help. Both of you are doing things that are not things that are important or life. Like we're doing chores before games. Sorry. If you don't know that one, I just found that out, that it's like chores before, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. If you don't, email me and I'll send you an answer. So yeah, just don't try to change someone. Do what you can do to manage or change the response of the behavior before the situation. Make the situation that causes the response not happen. I know this is like, duh. Okay, but it's not duh when you're stuck in this behavior vicious circle of insanity because it's all you know. It's your go-to. And I didn't like my go-to. My go-to is too stressful now. I am too old. I do not want this stuff. I want to be healthy. I want to be like that 50-something, 60-year-old woman who's out walking and doing her things and, with my fluffy noof and just hanging out. And that's what I want. I don't want the woman who's like hanging on by a thread because I cannot live like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So one last thing I want to add today about the let them theory. Please read the book by Mel Robbins. If you love to read, put it on your list because she does go into talking about the psychotherapists and the psychologists that she has spoken to and done research with that have helped her understand that in addition to the let them, you do also, and it's kind of like at the end of here, we talked about it a little, like the, observe and choose, focus on your own actions, that kind of stuff. There also is, it's just not let them, because you also then have to say, let me, and then go through and decide what you could do different, like we just discussed. So she does go into that in a lot of detail. So you get like the theory, you get the science, and then you get the application. So, and it's a great book. I just wanted to explain that because everybody was just like, no clue. What does that mean? I should just let people walk all over me. So clarification on the let them theory. This is what you need to do. Read the book. It really has been an eye opener on the science behind it and whatnot. So that's why I wanted to do this episode, just kind of explain that a little more. So there you go. There is no Saturday episode. I'm doing every other week, and that seems to be working for our schedule. So, because this weekend is like crazy. We've got 2 games, hockey games, Friday and Saturday. We have, what else is going on? Peter's got a haircut. Buster's got an appointment at the vet for his annual. It's just crazy. So we got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, so I won't be able to record for sure. But I will see you again on the 19th, and we'll get all the updates from then on what's going on with what went on with Pinewood Derby and all sorts of other stuff. So until then, lead with kindness and lean on God. Bye.